Alright, now it's time to talk about Batman, Mr. Freeze, SubZero. Before I talk about the movie, let me just talk about something else here. See, I was originally going to do a Let's Talk About Batman the Animated Series, but I don't know enough about the entire series yet. I've only watched the first three, or the 2.5 volumes of the DVDs. But I'm going to do a top 10 episode, because I have seen a lot of the episodes, so I could probably give you my top 10 like that once I look at the episodes. So, I will do that. But, what I can talk to you about is how they did some characters in this series. I like they introduced Harley Quinn, and now she wasn't a comic book character, she was an original character, and she was introduced on Batman the Animated Series. And now she's a comic book character. She's getting her own freaking movies out there that probably pushing her way too much, but you know. And I like the way they did Two-Face on the show, with how he was grasping with another personality called Big Bad Harv. And when that happened and he became Two-Face, Big Bad Harv was the one that took over. I like that. It's never been used in any other version of Batman that I've seen, and I've been waiting for that version to be used because I love that version. It wouldn't be plagiarizing. You know, they could change it up a little bit. But by far, the biggest change they did was to Mr. Freeze, who, before this, was the guy that freezes things, similar to Captain Cold. Here, what they did with the story in the animated series changed his story in the comics. They gave him a sad story. His wife had a disease. I'm not sure if it's really called this, but in Batman and Robin, look at the dinosaurs, the Ice Age. It's called McGregor syndrome. I don't know if that's what it's called, but they gave his wife a disease. And so now she's frozen in this tube thing, and something happened to Victor Freeze to turn him where he has to be in cold all the time. It's a dark story of a tormented man who just wants to save his wife, and it's wonderful. But and it's really shown through in this one. The story here is that a submarine finds Mr. Freeze's subterranean ice cave hideaway, and upon rising, causes something to happen with his wife's containment thing. So Mr. Freeze calls upon someone named Gregory, who has the bluest eyes I've ever seen in a cartoon. I'm serious. And they need to find a match to do something with it, like maybe switch her consciousness over to her, or do something. I didn't particularly get that, but say on the back of it. He's trying to save his dying wife. So he kidnaps Barbara Gordon, or Batgirl, and Bruce Wayne, or Batman and Robin, have to save the day. One thing I noticed in this is I don't know if they're really... I know in the animated series they teased it, but they never really went through it. Here, Robin and Batgirl, or Dick Grayson and Barbara Gordon, are a couple, it seems. There's this dinner party thing that Bruce, Barbara, and Dick are at, and they're like together. Bruce is called away, and then, Mr. Freeze kidnaps Batgirl, and he has this little Inuit or Eskimo boy. I liked his name, I forgot what it was called. He ends up saving the day though, because he feels remorse. Basically. But it causes more problems. Batman saves the day, of course. But They're going to do something. They say they're going to do a blood transfusion and then try to put her to sleep. Actually going to sleep. Sorry about that. I tried to put her under with sleeping gas, and she says that you don't need me to be under for not me out for a blood transfusion, but So this is where I got confused. The only thing that really bugged me, they started to put her under, and it starts to affect her. But then the little Eskimo boy knocks everything over and busts it, and she's automatically back awake. I know it's a cartoon, but it doesn't work like that. She already started to go under. She would be asleep for a little bit while longer before she would wake back up. She wouldn't be automatically back up after that. She already started going under. So I know it's a cartoon. But by the end, Batman is actually trying to save everyone from getting out of there. He has the wife, he has Batman, or he has Robin and Batgirl and everyone. Well, she hasn't become Batgirl in this, I don't think. She's just Barbara Gordon. But, and it ends with, him in the Frozen with his polar bears where it started. So, this is a short one, because, it's a good one. The animation on this, I think, because this is later, it's like 98, I think. This is after the show ended, I think, but, well, no, because it has the same original animation from the original, like, from the early seasons, like seasons 1, 2, 3. Because, if you don't know, it was on Fox Kids, and then WB took it for their Kids WB block, and they revamped it for the Batman Superman Adventures, or the new Batman Adventures, whatever you want to call it. And they changed the animation up. And that was season 4. And this animation was before season 4, but they, much like Spider-Man the animated series tried to do, they added some 3D animation to it. And it looks better than the 3D animation in the Spider-Man the animated series, to be honest. But because they integrated better. Oh, there was one scene where there was a thing was like, I think it was a Batwing was flying, and they showed Alfred, and you can clearly tell Alfred was in 3D animation for a second there, and it looked kind of bad. But other than that, pretty good. And just the overall colors, whatever up with Gregory's eyes, I don't know. They were like blue. Otherwise, pretty good movie. I'll give it an 8 out of 10, because Master Phantasm is my favorite one. But this is still pretty good. In all honesty, I never really saw this all the way through before, bits and pieces. And I was like, oh, this one's not pretty good. I never really cared for this one. But it's in that, it's part of that continuity of the anime series, and it's still in that same vein. So it still has that, that touch of the animated series. So it works. I think all these are actually going to be pretty good. I've seen all the rest of them that I have all the way through, and they're all pretty good. So we'll get to those. But, so yes, 8 out of 10 for Batman Mr. Freeze SubZero. So what are your thoughts on Batman Mr. Freeze SubZero? Let me know in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.